Hi second graders, it's Mrs. Burke and I'm so excited for you because you are now beginning your geometry unit, which is a ton of fun. And you did a great job with your addition and subtraction, so I think you're going to enjoy this change of pace. Today's lesson we are going to focus on two different types of polygons. One of them we call a regular polygon and the other we call an irregular polygon. And irregular just means not regular. So before we get into that, I want to just review a very important vocabulary word, and that is a polygon. A polygon is defined to have these characteristics. It must be a closed figure, which means it can't have any open spaces. All of the lines must be straight in a polygon, and the lines are never allowed to cross. So using that checklist, let's take a quick look on the other side of these figures to see which ones follow the rules and can be called a polygon and which ones cannot. So first up, this figure right here looks like a square. I noticed it doesn't have any openings, so it is a closed figure. All of my lines are straight and the lines never cross with each other, so I can call this a polygon. Here is a very familiar shape known as a circle. Now, a polygon has to be closed, which this is, but it has to have straight lines. Circles have curved lines, so although a circle is a shape, it cannot be called a polygon. Next, we have this letter U. It is a closed figure, but it doesn't have straight lines because it has this curve right here, so we cannot call this a polygon. Next, I have this triangle. It's a closed figure. It has all straight lines, and my lines never cross. Polygon. Over here, I have a closed figure, no openings in my lines. All of my lines are straight. However, it breaks this rule. My lines cross right here, so we cannot call this a polygon. Down here, I have a closed figure, straight lines, and the lines never cross, so I have a polygon. And last, this is not a closed figure. This is an open figure because this point is not connected to this point. So this is an open figure, so right away I know it can't be a polygon, even though it follows the other rules. Okay? So now that you know what a polygon is, we are going to look at regular polygons and irregular polygons. Now, a regular polygon is a polygon where all of its sides and all of its angles are equal measures, okay? An irregular polygon has sides that are not all equal in length, or it has angles that are not all equal in measure. So these are the two types of polygons we're going to be looking for today. So I printed out a couple of samples and we're going to go through them and we're going to determine whether they're regular or irregular and why. All right? So here is a shape that is very recognizable to all of us. Hopefully you can name this shape. This is known as a square. And I can call this square a polygon instead of a shape because it's closed, it has straight lines, and the lines don't cross. So now that I know that it's a polygon, I have to determine, is this a regular polygon or is this an irregular polygon? To be regular, it has to follow two rules. All of the sides have to be equal length, and all of the angles have to be equal measure. Well, I know that every side of a square is equal, check, and I notice these are all 90-degree angles, check. So since I have all equal sides in length and all equal angles in measure, this can be called a regular polygon. All right. Let's look at the next one. This polygon is also probably very familiar to you. We call this polygon a triangle. So let's see if we can determine if it's regular or not. So if I had a ruler, I could actually measure it, but even just by looking, I can see that all of my sides are the same length. This is called an equilateral triangle. All sides are equal. And if I look closely at my angles, these small little angles, they're called acute angles. 1, 2, the inside part, 3. These are all the same size also. So since my sides and my angles are equal, I can call this what type of polygon? A regular polygon. Okay, now let's take a look at this one. I have my first big clue. As I'm looking at it, this isn't a shape that I can quickly give a name to. Like when I see this, triangle. When I see this, square. When I see this, I can't right away give it a name without counting the sides. That's usually a good trigger or clue that maybe this is an irregular polygon. But let me see if it meets the criteria. Are all of my sides the same length? Well, I'm looking at this side here, which is kind of short, next to this side here, which is actually very long. These are definitely not the same size. And then I'm looking at this angle here, this small little acute angle, next to this angle here, which is stretched out a little more. And I'm realizing those angles are not the same size, right? So right away, it's breaking both of my rules. So I cannot call it a regular polygon. Instead, I'm gonna name this an irregular polygon, or not regular. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Can anybody give this a name? Nah, me either. So I would have to count the sides to name this. And as I'm looking, right away, I'm drawn to this tiny little angle here. But then I'm looking at this bigger angle, and then I'm looking at this even bigger angle. So right away, I notice 3 different sized angles. That's not equal. And then I'm also looking at the length. Here is a small measure, where here is a much larger measure. So my side lengths are not equal, which means they're irregular. So it's an irregular polygon for this polygon. It is a polygon because it's closed, straight lines, they don't cross, but it's not a regular polygon because the sides and the angles are not equal. Okay, let's take a look at this one. You know what? I think I can give this one a name right away. I recognize that as the house shape, which is known as a pentagon. 5 sides. Now let me look closely. All right, they all seem to measure the same size. And I could check this with a ruler if I wanted to. But they do look to be equal in measured sides. And if I look at the angles, that's obtuse, that's obtuse, that's obtuse, that one, that, yep. Angles all seem to be the same. So if they're the same side length and the same size angles, I'm allowed to call it a regular polygon. All right, try this one now. What are you thinking? Some of you might even know the name of this polygon. This is called a hexagon because it has 6 sides. And the length of every side seems to be equal. And the angles are equal. So if I have equal size sides and equal size angles, what should I call this? Awesome. A regular polygon. Now, I have 2 trick ones here that sometimes can have students fall in the trap. So I pulled them out because I love to always go over trick ones. I'm a math teacher. I'm all about the tricks and the traps, saving my students from falling in them. Mr. Burke thinks that's funny. Okay. If you look at this polygon, most of you can give it a name. And you're gonna say, rhombus, or some of you might, I think I heard one or two of you say diamond. The real name of this is a rhombus. Now, as you get older, you're gonna memorize a rhombus. All of the sides are equal length. But some of you might be looking even more closely, and you might remember that two things have to be true. Equal size, sides, but also equal angles. What do you notice about these two angles? They're not the same size. Look, this is a little acute angle, and this is an obtuse angle. So even though when I look at it, I can recognize it, oh, that's a rhombus. And look, I know a rhombus has all sides are equal. This is a tricky one because they don't have equal angles. So this is not a regular polygon. This has to be classified as an irregular polygon. This is one of those trick ones. And same with this one. Why is this not regular? Because of this and this. Look at those two angles. Different sizes. So you have to look carefully and make sure you're paying attention both to the sides, what's their measure, and the angles. In order to be regular, you have to have both of those equal. And if even one of those is not, then you are classified as irregular or not regular. Okay? So you're gonna have some fun today drawing on your seesaw, which, I mean, you guys are probably really good at that. I would not be that good at the computer drawing, but you're gonna practice that. And as you're making regular polygons, think, are all of my sides equal length? Are all of my angles equal? And then, if they're not, you know you're not gonna call it a regular polygon, you're gonna call it an irregular polygon. Awesome job today. I'm really proud of you, and I know you are gonna have so much fun with this unit. It gets better and better each lesson, so enjoy it, okay? Have a great day, Stewart School. It's beautiful out today, so make sure you get outside for some fresh air. And I'll see you with another video on Thursday. Have a great day, Stewart School.